satisfied are you with the afternoon's work?
Extremely satisfied, yeah. Ugly performance. Ugly, you know, in terms of wasn't pretty, but we spoke beforehand. We just came here to do a job, and the job was just to win and finish second in this competition. And with a 6-day turnaround, look, we didn't, you know, we had too many turnovers and stuff, but I thought defensively the boys showed some great character out there, and particularly the second half. And and we knew it was going to be a tough, close game, and they're a good French team. And the great thing about this competition at the moment is that how close it is, how tough it is to win, and you know, to finish in the, you know, anywhere on the table, you need a little bit of luck. And but today wasn't about the performance; it was about the result for us.
Fine margins, wasn't it, between second and fifth, probably?
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's been the way the last few years. It's been a little bit the same. So, and that's brilliant for this competition. It's you know, to win the Six Nations, and congratulations to Ireland on the Grand Slam. That's fantastic, and they deserve that. But they'll know that they were a little bit lucky as well. You need a little bit of luck. And first game, the drop goal from Johnny Sexton, you know, completely changes everything. If we don't throw an intercept in the last few minutes and the ball goes to hand, it's, you know, changes our fortunes as well. So, and I think that's a massive positive for the Six Nations, the tournament, and the countries competing. And in fairness, you had to feel sorry for Italy today. I mean, they could have easily won as well. So I think we've got to be very positive about this competition, about this tournament. We've got to talk it up, say how good it is, because I think it's been a very competitive year, and there's been some really good rugby.
Alun Wyn, what got you through that second half?
In fairness, we knew where they were going to come in that second half. You know, they scored 3 points in the second half with the first 20. They had the lion's share of possession. You know, once we were able to get out of the half, we sort of knew the pressure would be off, and they'd have to, you know, go an extra 50. So it's a lot of effort just to the guys get up off the floor and do the work between the work, if you like. And there's great character shown. Like Gat said, the competition as a whole has been nip and tuck. But I think the biggest thing we take from today is the character, particularly in that second half.
Warren, what have you learned about your squad over the duration of the tournament, and how much further do you think you've moved forward?
Like today wasn't brilliant. You know, it wasn't a great performance. A lot of turnovers and stuff. We showed some character. I think where we are at the moment, we're realistic. What's pleasing is we've exposed some players at the highest level. So we feel like, as we're leading into 2019, that we've got more depth than we had in 2015. Probably, if we looked at just the starting in 15 or the year, we were a bit stronger in 2015. But I think in 12 months' time we'll be in a really good place in terms of where we are from a starting point of view, from a starting 15 or 23. But what we've done is we've exposed a lot more players, and the depth we've created is, you know, it's put us in a good position, and we'll look to do that in the summer with the games against South Africa and Argentina as well, and the autumn. And so, you know, we're pretty comfortable where we are as a squad at the moment, looking forward to the next 18 months.
And what can you tell us about the sort of players that you'll be taking out to Argentina and South Africa, and the sort of numbers who'll be rested? I gather your captain's among them.
Yeah, I don't think, you know, he's getting a bit old now, so we need to look after him and stuff, and we've got a plan in place for the next year or so in terms of the number of games he plays for the Ospreys and for us as well, and because he's very important to us, and we need to keep him fresh. And so we'll probably look at a lot of those players that were on the Lions, you know, whether we take them on the summer tour, and some of the older players that, you know, potentially haven't had much of an off season. So I think it's a good chance for us to maybe look at some players getting a good break in the off season, and a rest, and preparing for the start of next season, so that there's two things that the club's going to get the benefit out of them, or the regions, and hopefully from an international point of view we'll benefit from it as well. So we'll start thinking about it in the next 6 weeks or so, and, you know, which players that we look to take. And, you know, we haven't even spoken about numbers yet. Probably won't be as high as the squad we've picked for the Six Nations, maybe early 30s or something like that in terms of numbers that we'll probably take.
Warren, do you have in front of you the French team you expect today? Stronger one or what?
Yeah, I think they're a good French team. I think Jacques done a good job. I think the game will develop over the next couple of years, or into the World Cup. He's very pragmatic in the way that he plays. They were disciplined, defensively very strong. They carry the ball. I said to the players, under Jacques Brunel, that they'll play a little bit like the way that Italy played when he was coaching them, but the French have got better players, so they'll be stronger and tougher to beat. So I think they've got some real quality. Our boys were saying that the big men, that they're physical, tough to break down, and but we've been very pleased with the last number of years. Our success over France has been very good, so we've been pleased with that in terms of the performance and results against France.
Warren, how do you, when you look at the championship overall as a whole, how do you reflect on the way you've looked to develop the way you play? So you've changed things around the time during the championship.
Yep.
Play different styles, play different styles today. How do you reflect on both of
I think from an attacking perspective, sometimes we haven't. If you look at territory possession, it hasn't been as good as we would have liked. It was sometimes as good as it has been in the past, but I think from an attacking perspective, that's been we've scored some good tries, and we've created some space. Set piece wise, we've been very pleased with the way we've scrummaged, and the lineouts continue to function pretty well, particularly defensively at lineout time. We've got in the air and we've stolen and competed against our opposition teams. We haven't been too stressed by teams trying to drive against us, and we've worked hard on that aspect of our game. And sometimes when you focusing on certain aspects of your performance and trying to improve, then the other things that you were good at in the past, tend to take a little bit of a second string. So we just need to get that balance right with us going forward in terms of, and we've spoken today about the contact area and where we need to tweak the contact area and improve in that, and also the game that we want to play, and so that we've been having those discussions since the autumn in terms of identifying certain teams, the way that we want to play, whether we want to play with some width or whether we want to shorten up a little bit, or how many numbers we commit to the breakdown, whether we play a little bit of same way stuff, and what structures we play, whether we're looking at a 4-2-2 or a 2-4-2 or a 1-3-3-1. I know exactly that you understand what I'm talking about there. So, or some teams are playing a 2-5-1. So we just need to be able to mix and match a little bit in terms of the way that we want to play against certain sides, and we feel like we're in that position at the moment with the squad that we've got and what we're trying to do, that be able to change up to play certain ways in terms of the teams we're playing against, but also the players that we pick.
Warren, is the discipline area of improvement for the last two games? Obviously, the game was very good for the last couple.
Yeah, the first two games were good. Scotland and England were outstanding. We felt that the game against France, the game against Ireland, there was a couple of tough calls against us in the first half, and obviously they were a bit disappointed with last week, and then today again. I think when you look at it, in fairness to France, have competed really hard at the breakdown, so you're going to get some turnovers, and a couple of scrum penalties that they become refereeing calls, and a couple of dumb ones given away by us as well. So it's those are all fixable in terms of where we know where we need to get back to in terms of where we were at the start of the tournament, and at half time we spoke about how important our discipline would be in the second half, and things that were in our control, and and from that point of view we were pretty good in the second half with the things that were in our control, and a couple of the ones that we've given away, just calls of the referee, and you've got to give France credit for the way that they've competed at the breakdown and the way they've scrummaged as well.